events arises out of a commitment that our Vice-Chancellor at the University of Cape Town makes in 2008. When he comes, he says that he'd like to commit his tenure of office to engaging the university with the key problems of the day. And he identifies issues like safety and violence, the education problem, constitutionalism, and going on the university. But how you get people to start working together from their different disciplinary vantage points is an enormous challenge. And it raises this fundamental question, when you get down to it, of how a university constitutes itself in relation to social problems. And it's by no means clear how a university might do that. We're in the midst of working that out. And at the heart of the question here is how disciplines talk to each other. How you might get particular traditions and orientations and perspectives and ways of analyzing a problem to be, which come out of a long tradition of thinking and analysis, alongside of another tradition which springs out of a completely different set of logics. And we're in that space. And it's a really important and creative space. It's a really important moment in which the academy is having to, in a sense, rethink itself. And it's a great moment. This is what this conference is all about. It's exemplifying how, from your different points of vantage, you can listen to each other. And listening to each other, I know, is hard. Particularly when you feel so strongly about, I have the answer. My field has got the answer. We in criminology bring together all of these issues in a particular kind of way, and we criminologists are the total package. And it may be so. I'm not saying you say so, Kathy. But we're in that space, and it's a wonderful moment for the university in this part of the world, because this challenge here replicates itself in a whole range of other areas of concern. Poverty, of course, expresses that challenge most acutely. And so we're here, colleagues, and I'd like to thank you all for both coming to demonstrate your expertise and your capacity, but also to be putting yourselves in a position where you can hear how other people are engaging with these kinds of questions. We're in the midst, as Gilbert has alluded to this just a moment ago, we're in the midst of having to confront these things in a way which I know precipitates a whole flurry of deep-seated feelings of both sorrow and outrage. Sorrow in reading just how much absolute trauma through which this young woman, Anine Boyson, went in her last few hours of consciousness. But also outrage in thinking that could have been my son who did that. Outrage, and trying to understand what this is all about. So there are layers of complexity here, which I'm hoping that these perspectives from these different disciplines will help us to come to understand the full complexity of how alcohol, violence, intention, desire, ignorance all come together to produce what I hope is for us in the academy, and I know government doesn't think like this, is not just a voyeuristic moment. That this is not just a moment in which we're peering into the depths of what human beings are all about, and to feel a sense of, gee, how great it is to be in the front seat here and see all of this stuff happening, but that we come to understand how universities position themselves in relation to these kinds of issues. That it's not just about the immediate, but that it's about taking these questions into places such as our conversations with government that we can actually make a difference. So a lot hangs on what we're doing here. You're going to talk, but you're also going to write, but you'll also be able to, I think, broaden all of our understanding, and particularly the understanding of the public and the way in which journalists come to write about these things, broaden all of our understanding about how we can move to a better place. So thanks very much to all of you, and I hope that the next 2 days, are going to be ones that build a better platform for us for taking these things forward. Thanks. I've walked off with these contraptions many times before, and I had to receive telephone calls. You've taken our mic, so thank you. There you are.
Thanks, Crain. Thanks so much, Crain. Thanks so much, Gilbert. I think that was a really poignant and to-the-point introduction around why we're here. Because this is not only a conversation between researchers, academics, scholars, students, practitioners, those who are actually implementing violence prevention programs, government officials. This is about thinking forward and about thinking about action. How can we translate knowledge into informed action? So I don't need to say much more. I want to try and keep to time. We are trying to save a little bit of time here, but also I'd like to give you a bit of a coffee break, because there was a coffee supposedly promised this morning, but unfortunately it didn't materialize. But Lamise, is there coffee? Yeah, now there is coffee available. So I can give you a 15-minute coffee break, because from now we're going to break into parallel sessions. Unfortunately, we had so many good papers that we couldn't kind of keep it in the plenary session. We actually had to break it up. So after the 15-minute coffee break, there's going to be 2 sessions. There's going to be one, very broadly titled "The Nature of Violence in South Africa" that Adele Kirsten from Gun Free South Africa is going to chair, and that session's going to be in here. Then there's going to be another session that's looking at collective violence, trauma, and parenting, and that's going to take place through that door just behind the camera. So just you need to kind of make up your mind which sessions to attend. Both are actually fascinating and interesting, and I'm afraid kind of difficult decisions need to be made. But I'll leave that up to you. So please, I'd like to invite you to some coffee downstairs. It's in the reception area. Thank you very much.